Welcome to Coach Washington Sports Talk. This is your host, Coach DeArmond Washington. We're going to talk about some middle school things like camps and middle school 7-on-7. Let's talk about it. So, last weekend, we hosted the WA Middle School 7-on-7 tournament where we had 8 middle school teams participate in that tournament. And it turned out to be a great turnout. I'm talking about great turnout far as teams, great turnout far as parents coming out. It was just a great event, man. You know, like I spoke earlier about the big AD and CMS, Erica Turner, was like, middle schools can start like working out, doing training, as long as you can keep those training sessions open to everyone. So we put together a middle school 7-on-7, and that thing was awesome, man. We had great support from the schools that did participate in that tournament. Sedgefield, we had a 7 and 8 grade team. JM had a 7 and 8 grade team. So those were the 8 teams. We had Ridge Rose participate. We had Alma Road, Randolph, Wilson. I'm trying to think, am I forgetting about anyone? I think those were the schools. 6 middle schools, 2 programs had 2 teams. So we had 6 middle schools participate out of 32. And that's my issue. Out of 32 programs, 6 were involved in it. Ransom didn't participate, but I know they was working out. I don't know what's going on with that. But I was happy to see the turnout of the schools and all the programs that came out and supported. Weeks before, we had a middle school camp. That was great. We had like a big turnout for that. And then we just had a great turnout for the middle school 7-on-7. The kids, I seen some great talent in middle school. I think this year is going to be exciting to see some of these kids out here. Ridge Road had some good kids. JM, I saw some things out there from Randolph. Alma Road was hanging tough. They had a couple good kids. Wilson was a young team, but they were competing. They did a good job in competing. And my Sedgefield, we look pretty good. We got some things we need to work on. But with my kids, I was looking just more to see how we were going to compete. We did well. Our 8th grade team made it to the 3rd round. Our 7th grade team got knocked out in the 2nd round in the losers bracket, but my 7th graders were very impressive. I was glad to see those 7th graders. We got some pretty good 7th graders out there. The 8th graders look good too. We were missing a couple guys, but overall we performed very well. I saw some great coaching, coaches who were serious about building up their programs and taking it serious, considering we do have a middle school playoffs and championship. We started that last year, and it's gotten serious. I could see it in how the kids were competing, making plays, the interaction with the kids, you know, the chippery with the talk, and the coaches let me know that we are on to something. WA, we are on to something. If you don't know what WA is, it's Washington Elite Athletics. We host camps and tournaments, and we do recruiting as well. I'm the CEO of that, and for the last, I think, 7-8 years, we've been helping kids get scholarship opportunities by bringing in college coaches to our prospect camps. And when kids are playing in the regular season, not getting recruited, you know, they're sending me that information, and we're assisting kids with their recruitment, mainly because I have a good relationship with a lot of coaches. I know a lot of coaches. A lot of my guys I went to school with are actually head coaches, so that helps me out. Sending kids information and huddle directly to the head coach or directly to that positional coach or the guy who's recruiting the area. So we're speaking about back to the middle school. We're speaking about middle school because a lot of these kids now are taking it more serious. I don't think the 12 and 13U division is going to be have that many teams, and youth football, of course, is going to be teams. My son wants to do middle school and youth football. He wants to get to Florida and compete. He wants to get back to Florida, and I can understand that with middle school kids, they want to still do both. You just got to work it out as a parent, but you know their youth careers are about to end in the next year or two, and some of those kids still have aspirations of getting to Florida and competing in the nationals. And I'm not knocking kids for that. Let's go. If you can get on a team that's that talented, you can get to Florida and participate in the nationals, so be it. I don't have a problem with that. But I do have a problem with, we reached out to a lot of these coaches and they just didn't want to do it. I spoke on my man on the lines with Booker about this. A lot of these coaches work at the school, some of them, and school is over. The school year is over and they just want to be done with the kids, it feel like. So it's let me know a lot of these teams, programs are not going to really be working out this summer. Not very interested in working out. And I think that's going to be the downfall. And a lot of it's because I think the coaches, they're not getting paid. So some people, if they're not getting paid to do it, they're not going to do it. A lot of coaches. But I think their programs are going to suffer in the fall because if you're not putting in that work and development kids, I speak on winning a lot, but we have to develop the kids. I saw that with my kids. I'm going to have to do more development, tone down my coaching style. I don't know if these kids can take it, getting on them hard as I do, but taking that energy now, I was talking to my wife, just taking that energy now and putting that rah energy more into, okay, let's get you guys developed. Let's get you guys really coached up this summer. Even with my own son, I be hard on him, and I don't think he could take it. He can take it, but he gets emotional. So to keep that fallout, just switching up my style, and let's just focus on getting better and development, because I think that is the key. Working with these kids is developing them and getting them going, working on that craft. We need to work on these kids' crafts, man, because when they leave us, they're going straight to high school, and you want to send your feeder program quality kids to help build up their program, build relationships. So this summer is going to be mainly working on my coaching style, but also working on getting these kids developed. They have the want to. A lot of them do want to do it, but I'm seeing a lot of these kids coming from youth football. I'm in a couple forums, and a lot of these kids, coaches, and these organizations are talking about how good they are. I just think you just got more athletes than anyone, and really the kids are making the coaches look good, because I'm seeing a lot of kids come from different programs, and they don't know the things that they should know, like how to open up their hips, how to run routes correctly, how to put the proper foot up when you're on the line of scrimmage. I got kids 12 and 13 years old, been playing football for a while, don't know how to open up and drop back into cover two. Hell, they don't even know what a cover two, cover three is. So a lot of you youth coaches that are always out here beating your chest, you need to get back in the lab, man, because I'm seeing a lot of kids that really don't know football, and they've been playing football too long not to know the game. So just correcting some things that some of these kids are doing wrong as far as stance. They don't know how to use their hands. I mean, we're in a different age. It's different from the kids in the early 2000s, but these kids now, we in 2024. They got trainers, all type of assets that they could be using to get better, man. They have them, and a lot of these kids are really not up to par as they should be. You should be at a certain level in middle school now when you get to the 7th, 8th grade. I'm not talking about the kids who are coming out late trying to play football for the first time. I'm talking about these kids who've been playing football since 7 and 8 years old. A lot of these kids are not where they're supposed to be, every team had like a outstanding player. Of course, you're gonna have that, about two, three outstanding players. But the rest of the kids, were good athletes. But I think a lot of them could be better, and that's well, the coaches. I'm glad we had that tournament so all the coaches can get together and we can work out and compete over the summer to improve our kids. Not just far as doing 7-on-7 competing. That's gonna be great. But far as I had a coach reach out to me say, "Hey, Coach Griffin, like, yo, we can do some joint workouts." And I was like, "Man, that'd be awesome. To have the kids join with another school. They're not in our conference. No harm, no foul. But just having some kids in another program come over and do a practice session with you. I mean, you can get a lot done as far as coaching. You can learn something from another coach. The kids can compete, have somebody different than the guys that normally practicing and working out with come in and compete, and that'll make for a better workout. And I'm all for that. I thought that was a great idea, a joint workout and practice. I mean, I'm gonna take them up on that because I want to get my team ready to go for the fall. And this is just voluntary work. I tell the kids all the time, you still gotta make the team. But I was just happy to see the middle school tournament turn out the way it did. Ridge Road and Coach O ended up winning it. They got beat by JM and got knocked down to the losers bracket, and they won 4 straight to get to the championship. They knocked off JM White, which is a 7th grade team, to get to the championship. And they played JM Blue, which is the 8th grade team, and they knocked them off. And it's kind of funny, they knocked off both teams the same way. In the red zone with the time running out, throwing touchdown passes to win the game with no time left. I mean, that was exciting. That was the middle school 7-on-7 is all about. Great finish. They knocked off both teams the same way and went on to win the inaugural WA Middle School 7-on-7 championship. But 7-on-7 is different from pads. Everybody look good when you don't have pads on. When you get those pads in and you get those O linemen and D linemen in there, it's a different story now. You're live bait and somebody's running at you and can make tackles. 7-on-7, you don't have a line protecting you as you would in the fall. So I like 7-on-7. It's good for quarterbacks and receivers. It's good for linebackers and corners and coverage. But some of the things you do in 7-on-7, you're not going to be able to do in the tackle season. Running all those underneath routes, linebackers cutting them off, sitting your linebacker back, unless you in like a prevent or something. But still, I like it. It's good work. It's good to get timing down. Good to see on the test and see your receivers and who's gonna play receivers. It's great work for DBs. And middle school DBs, I think, will benefit the most, and safeties will benefit the most from the 7-on-7 stuff. Just getting reps and working on opening up their hips, backpedaling, actually learning how to cover. I think we're going to put on some training sessions at the Footwork Factory, working with linebackers. No one really works with linebackers anymore. DBs and putting together some lineman competition. The linemen, I don't have that many linemen out. I got like maybe 3 linemen who actually come to the workouts, but they'll probably show up in the fall. I don't think a lot of people have a lot of linemen out there, but just send the messages out and getting kids who are going to play line, getting them together and doing some 5-on-5 stuff, and getting them moving their feet and training them on how to step properly and how to block. I can't wait to put the message out through the school. Any rising 7th graders and 8th graders who play line, we need to get those guys out immediately and start working them out. We took a break after the tournament. We took this week off. Then next week we'll be back like 2 days working out with our kids, and it's Father's Day weekend. But if I can get somebody to come out, maybe like on a Wednesday to get some work, we'll try to put that together. But I think middle school is in good hands. like I say, I seen a lot of good quality athletes, and the competition was good too. No one was backing down from one another. Everybody was playing hard, but I did see that we need more development with our younger guys. Some of you programs got it right. Some of you programs you didn't get it right because kids don't know as much as they should. I'm not knocking anyone for that. If you got more talent than anyone, hey, you just got more bullets in the gun, and but you need to be winning with that. If you're gonna have more talent than everybody, you need to be winning. So it was just overall good look to see the parents out there happy, watching the kids compete. Just the parent support of what we were doing and the programs. I was glad to see that, and got a lot of feedback from the kids. They actually loved it. The kids are different now. They want people to come out and showcase them, and we did that. We showcased kids. I mean, we posted their videos. We don't know a lot of some of these kids. We posted their videos and they tagged us saying that's me. Then we tagging the kids in videos. Kids are dropping more videos saying, "Hey, this is me. Can you post me?" And we interviewed some kids, just getting these kids ready for the big stage when they get to high school. Not just the things they're gonna do on the field, but the things they're gonna do off the field, like get interviewed, how to answer the questions. That's important. How to speak and communicate on camera. A lot of kids were not used to that, but a lot of kids did well when we interviewed, and they spoke well. Talked about what was going on with their schools, what position they played, how they felt about the tournament. So that was a good look, and I'm proud of all the young guys who came out who really wanted to get that work, and a lot of them still hit me up like, when we gonna do the next one, ask me questions about position, how can they get better, looking for training. Get with Coach Akers. I know he got a DB thing going on Saturday, but we see can we put something together Saturday as well at the Footwork Factory, our training facility, and getting these guys over here with us with some good trainers and getting them really prepped up and ready for the summer. Anything they got going on with the summer and the fall, putting the camps on and getting them ready to know how to camp at these prospect camps. When they go to these showcases, this stuff won't be foreign to them as far as the individuals, how to get through the individuals, moving on to the one-on-ones, so they can go out and compete and look good at these showcases. This stuff builds confidence. I seen a lot of kids walk away from the event with confidence. I know one of my guys that says he broke his wrist or something last year, but he came, man, he's come back taller, hopped right in there when we needed another DB in the workouts, played DB in the tournament. He did well. I think he got a pick, broke up a lot of passes, and at the end of the tournament, I could just look at him and see his confidence. Even my son, he's played running back and wide receiver and linebacker and DB, but he's been wanting to do this quarterback thing, so we let him quarterback the 7th grade team, and I was kind of shocked with that. He did a great job. He threw a couple touchdowns, a couple picks in the red zone at the wrong time, got locked on to Charlie, which I think was his favorite receiver, but just explaining to him you can't get tunnel vision, because when you get tunnel vision, you don't see the other guys on the field. Just little things like that kids can pick up on and learn and correct, moving on over the summer and in the fall. So it turned out to be a great camp, just getting good feedback from the kids, the coaches. Coaches working out, really taking this opportunity we have to work out serious. We weren't able to do it in the past, so just taking advantage of these opportunities, camps, these 7-on-7. Now we got to get these kids with these trainers and these high school coaches so they'll know how to do the positional stuff correctly. So when they get to high school, they're already kind of ready to go. When you get to work out with these trainers and these coaches, man, they correct mistakes and you're teaching the kids the proper way, how to open up the hips, just the proper way to play the position. And as a coach myself, I don't coach all the positions, but sometimes you have to because I think we only have 3 to 4 paid staff, and you need about 6 positional coaches. So anything myself I can pick up when these kids are working with these high school coaches and these trainers, anything I can pick up so I can go back and work with my kids with, because all my staff is not participating in the training. They got other things going on. But it was just a great day for middle school, man. Middle school ball is on the up. And I'm glad to see that a lot of kids are now participating in middle school sports over the youth. I'm not saying they should do that, but they're choosing to win that city championship, and that's a good thing to see. Middle school football is going to be awesome this year. It's going to be more serious than ever because now the kids are playing for something. So just speaking on that and how that turned out last week, and like I said before, we need more coaches to participate in these things so they can get their programs going and built up. I think the next tournament we put on, we should have more schools participating, especially from Cabarrus County, Gaston County, Monroe, all the surrounding areas of Charlotte, because they always working out in the summer getting prepared because they start their season before us. So it'll be a good look by the end of the summer when we put on another tournament to have even more participation and better competition, more competition rather, in the events. So I'm happy with the way middle school athletics is progressing. I like to see that done in basketball and other sports as well. Coaches really taking advantage of the summer and getting their kids ready to go. I know a lot of people tired. They're tired of working with these kids. They need a break. You work in the school system with them every day. You need a break, but at the same time, we got to get going. It's a bigger picture. A lot of kids don't have the funds to afford trainers, so getting to work out this summer will be excellent for them to get to work, stay in shape, and get coached up, and have a couple of months to get prepared for the season and get better. So that's what I want to talk about today with the as far as middle school athletics, and talk about myself. Like I said, I was changing coaching styles. I be raw. I got a deep voice, raw. I heard my voice on the film. I'm like, yo, I got to change that. I didn't like that. I didn't like the way I sounded. And so I say, I'm going to turn it up and switch it up as far as chill with the verbal on them and get on them when I need to, but just take a different approach with the group I have because they can take it, but I don't know if they really can take it like that. I evaluated my kids and myself, and my kids need more development and training. So I got to recognize they just don't know. So toning myself down and realizing the kids I have and just reaching them another way because we do got good participation. I think we got like 26 kids so far. And we don't even have any like linemen or anything out there. These are just like skill players. I think I got like 3 linemen, but the tournament was good for me to evaluate myself and change some things myself. If you're not changing and improving and ascending yourself, you're not gonna last long in coaching. And and also seeing I'm not the only one with that style of coaching, because I heard a lot of coaches getting on kids, like I do, jumping on them like, hey, tighten up the ship. So that was good to see that I wasn't the only one who rose like that, but also working on myself, man. Just working on myself. So that was the podcast really was about today, just the experience with these middle school kids from the tournament, how they enjoyed it. I mean, we gave out a great, it was like a plaque, but it was beautiful, man, how it was made. My coach, Darren Cupperson, had that trophy made, and it was nice. When he said plaque, I'm thinking a regular plaque, but it was far from regular. I mean, it was a beautiful trophy. So big ups to all the coaches and the kids who participated in the tournament. Big up to you guys. Thank all the parents for just bringing them kids out and wanting to see their kids play and compete and get better. It was a great event, and we're gonna have another one later this summer, probably about July. Getting close to August, we'll put on another one, and just seeing more kids out here working out and grinding, man. I just had a session right after work with my son and some kids in the neighborhood. We've been working on defense all week. You know, they got their own equipment, so we've been working on tackling, keeping your head up, shooting your arms, rolling your hips, staying low, driving through. We've been doing mostly offensive things, and today we did. Mostly defensive. For the last week, we've just been having defensive workouts, and today we did some offensive stuff. And tomorrow we'll probably do some more offensive stuff, but really getting these kids prepared. I'm getting my son and my nephew ready because we're planning that Showtime. I think it's Elite Showtime. Showtime. It's a Showtime. It's an all-star game put on by Al Spears. So we're participating in that. My son did it last year. So I'm getting him ready with the 7-on-7, these workouts. And I let him play a little tackle football here and there to get the rust off of him. But just getting him ready to go for this event. So this summer has been wild already, man. With workouts. I'm tired already. Like, I had to take the week off to recoup, man. You know, normally I don't get tired, but I guess that age is catching up with me, so I got a little tired, but it was good, you know, good feedback from all the coaches. We on to something, and we're going to keep it going. And another thing I want to speak about is what's going on in these youth football games and these fights. My son played in a summer league championship. He played a couple of games and played in the championship. Earlier they said it was a fight. The game before my son team, it was 11U. It was the kid. It was a good game, you know, good game. It was a hard hit or something happened where the kids kind of got into like a little skirmish, whatever you want to call it. The kids got caught up in a little quarrel on the field. You know, that's something the refs can handle. They're 11. They're 11 years old, so that's something the referees can take care of. But instead of the parents letting the referees handle this, the parents, because they're kids can work out their own battles. They're 11. They can handle themselves. They got equipment. So instead of the parents letting the referee do their job and break the fight up, the little skirmish up, because coaches came on the field and they was getting kids back to referees. All of a sudden we get a parent on the field. Then other parents rush the field. So it got out of hand because it went from a kids game to now the parents want to get out there and show out, taking their shirts off, holding up the game, wouldn't let it go. I mean, what you gonna do? Fight some kids, some 11-year-old kids, because he dumped your son or maybe punched your son? You gonna run on the field and then it was too much, man. I didn't see any security out there. You know, it got a little dangerous. Then they broke it up. The game ended. The other one team left, one team stayed till it settled down and got off the field. Then my son teams got up to play 12U. It was a good game, 6-0. The whole game in the 7-minute mark, they got into a little skirmish earlier. And then they had another one. And the referees did a good job of breaking that one up. Then they got into another one. Then the last one, the kid took his helmet off, threw it on the ground. The kids wouldn't stop. And it really was the team my son was playing on was the main instigators. They just wouldn't stop. It wasn't the parents this time. It wasn't the coaches. This particular time, it was the kids. Like, they wouldn't stop trying to fight. I don't know what's going on in youth athletics. Maybe it got to be the home stuff, what they're seeing at home, because the kids, they wouldn't stop yapping, try to fight instead of just trying to finish the game with 7 minutes left, fight it out with their pads and take it out that way. They got mental, they lost their mental focus, and they wanted to just keep fighting. And this happened like 3 times to the point where they just called the game. I got mad, went and got my son and told him to come on because I was just disappointed and embarrassed that the kids, you got to be disciplined. Football is a disciplined sport. You can't be doing all this fighting. It's a violent sport as it is. So fighting is clearly out of the question. Fighting is clearly out. It's already a violent sport. And they just kept on wanting to fight the team. They were just frustrated they was losing. But they were playing great football. It was a great game. But then that discipline we talk about, being disciplined, they were undisciplined. And that let them get the best of them. So they couldn't even finish the game. They had like 3-4 incidents. And they stopped the game. I got my son. I was pulled him out. He thought I was mad at him. But I wasn't mad at him. I was mad at more of his teammates. It was 7 minutes left in the game. 6-0. You playing great defense. And then what caused it, I think they had just got a penalty, the opposing team. So the referees backed them up. So you had them in good field position. You just had to get going offensively, which they were struggling with their offense, but their defense was playing stellar. They just had to just get their offense together. Before they could do that, they lost it. The discipline, wanting to fight instead. So that game got called. My son was mad. He was upset. He thought I was really mad at him, but I was really mad at his teammates for losing self-control. And it's becoming a bad thing in youth sports. With these fights, people losing self-control. The kids are getting it from the parents. They bring it to the field, making the game, making coaches just not even really want to coach these kids because they so undisciplined. And then you be like, where is he getting it from? Then you see the parents, they ready to go squabble and fight too. Like some of these parents actually fight kids. I mean, it's a kid's game. They fight, and they getting into it with each other, and you can't let him stand up for himself and fight through that because they got the coaches and the official. Here come the parents jumping the fence. It was just embarrassing, man, that my people was doing this, but it's not just black people. This happens in soccer and baseball too. So it's just not a black thing, but youth athletics has to tighten up with parents and acting crazy, and you just need to be disciplined. Got to be disciplined, man. We got to do better with security. Was no security there, so people have to do better with these events, having security, talking to these parents about rules, setting some guidelines and standards of what's going to be tolerated and what's not going to be tolerated. So if we don't get this fixed, something could have easily went wrong out there Saturday. But thank God it didn't, and they just canceled 2 games back to back. They just stopped the play and stopped the game. Whoever was winning, they just won the championship. So I want to speak on that. So parents, you got to do better, man, because these kids are picking this shit up from you. They picking up all this aggression for you, these parents. I don't know if they were frustrated and they just wanted to take it out. Here go the opportunity. It was like a mob mentality. It got out of hand. So we need to do a better job in youth sports, middle school, even high school. Do a better job in tightening up the behavior that goes on at these games before it gets out of hand and somebody gets hurt over what? A game that most kids won't even remember in 2 years. They won't even remember the game. It seems like it means more to the parents than it do the athletes. So I just want to talk about that today on Coach Watson Sports Talk. Middle school athletics and then behavior and fighting at these games. I didn't say it earlier. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and share button. Again, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and share button It was good speaking with y'all today. Coach Washington out.